You're on the Six Screens Telenetwork, earning the reputation of giving all the right ingredients, uninhibited, and exposing the hardcore facts about the Watchtower Society. And now, the end is near.
Well, hello everyone and welcome in. My name is Rick Farron. I'm coming to you from the Six Screen Studios up here in Boston, Massachusetts. And I've got a big report this morning concerning the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm going to show you the website picture. I'm going to read it right to you. This is right off the Watchtower website. And what they're saying here is Tony Morris. Yes, in fact, I'll read it to you on Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Well, that's just here this morning. This just happened this morning. It was announced at the world headquarters that Brother Anthony Morris III is no longer serving as a member of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, there it is. It's official. It's right off of their website. So obviously, this is a true story. I know when it first came across this morning, many were really wondering, is it true that Tony Morris, governing body member, well, there's a picture of him there in his official position. Tony Morris, he was a governing body member for quite a while. I'll give you some of the information on that. But he also was a family man. Well, there's a picture of Tony. There is his wife, Susan, and they had two sons. So he was a family man, and he was from Rhode Island. Now, that, of course, is not too far from where I am up here in Boston. But anyways, after his baptism, Tony served for 16 years in Rhode Island. And in 2002, in August of 2002, Tony, and his wife accepted the invitation to become part of Patterson Bethel family right up in the United States. And also in 2005, we also find out that this is when Tony was given the privilege of serving on the governing body. He became an official member back in August of 2005. So, he's been on since 2005, close to 20 years, right, of being on the governing body. So I'm not really quite sure what caused the situation here. There wasn't much, as you could see. Watchtower seems to be very secretive about information. I mean, that was it. It's just like reading from the stage when the person's disfellowshipped. Brother, they wouldn't say brother, but they'd say Rick Farron is no longer wanting to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So very little information that we have. We can only speculate at this time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a video. I think this might be one of the reasons Tony got in trouble. I mean, I can't tell you for sure, but this is the video that really made its rounds. And I'm going to put it up here so you guys will be able to see it. It was the infamous video of Tony in a liquor store. Now, I don't know if this was what really was the main issue here. I'm sure many will speculate. It seemed to get Tony in a lot of hot water with the apostates. But watch the video. It's a couple of minutes long. I want to share it with you. Keep an eye on it. See what you think. All right, let's play the video. Here you can see Tony in the liquor store. That is Tony Morris, governing body member, walking through a liquor store in New York, approximately 50 miles away from Watchtower headquarters in Warwick. Maybe he didn't want to see a liquor store near there. But
I see you're a fan of Scotch. Do you know anything about Irish whiskey?
Yeah, I'm not a lot. My wife likes it.
Yeah.
Jameson's always high popular.
I usually get Bushnells, but I don't know anything about these newer ones.
Yeah, the Jameson's been good for a long time.
Yeah.
This one I don't know, but it's nice to just test them out, taste them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been to Scotland
a
number of times, so I just
well thank you.
Scottish and Irish. So a lot of the Irish ones will say, you got to try our stuff.
Yeah. I know I've got the green spot that's very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll just go with
hard.
I'll just go with another bottle of JMO.
You can't go wrong with it. My wife really likes that.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yep.
Well, that was the man that was inside the liquor store talking with Tony about scotch. Tony certainly seemed to know his brands of scotch, the good ones from the bad ones. Well, there he is right now at the counter checking out. From what we can see, close to $1,000 worth of liquor. Expensive Macallan scotch. There he is getting into his car. It's a Cadillac. No, it's an older model Cadillac, but nonetheless, I think many people would love to have that car. It's a beautiful car. So there was Tony getting into his car. Is this the video that perhaps got Tony in trouble? We don't know that. We can only speculate, but I know this did not do with Tony Morris any good. That is really a video that has been all over the internet. Many people see it. Many people have made reference to it. So there's Tony buying his liquor, getting in his car and taking off. Many bottles of scotch. He's going to take it, I'm sure, back to Warwick. Okay, so there you have it with Tony. Now, let's see what else we got going on here. So we can only speculate. We do not know. It would be unfair to say exactly why Tony is no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but maybe it could be this video. I'm going to put this video up here. What I'm going to say is Tony may not have been one of the most liked. In fact, I think he was the most disliked governing body member in the Jehovah's Witness, ex-witness world, I should say. I believe that he was the most disliked governing body member. So let's see if we can't get the video up. I think this may be the video that could have got Tony in trouble as well. So let's take a look and see. Okay, why am I getting the video? Let's see why I'm not getting the video. Okay, let's see. Let me see where the video is. Well, you remember the video. Let me just take a look here, friends. I'd love to have you see the video of Tony. Why it's not up, I'm not sure. But let me see over here, maybe. No, that's not it either. Well, anyways, it was Tony Morris. We'll play it tonight. We're going to have a special program here. Well, maybe it's this one right here. Yeah, let's see if this will play. I'd love to have you see this here. So let's play this one here next. Yes, this is it. This is the video I think that might have got Tony Morris in problems with all the governing body members and maybe even Jehovah's Witnesses in general. So let's see if we can't share this video. And it's about 2 or 3 minutes long, but just listen in. I think you'll find it very fascinating. Notice how much vitriol, how much hatred he has toward the ex-witnesses, those that leave the Watchtower and become so-called apostates. Listen in.
Fire would be a suitable means of eliminating such refuse. Now, this point, what the fire did not consume, the maggots would. Now, I don't know if you know much about maggots, but you see a whole bunch of them. It's just not a pleasant sight. But what a fitting picture of the final end of all of God's enemies. Sobering, yet something we look forward to. However, the apostates and the enemies of Jehovah would say, well, that's gruesome. That's despicable. You teach your people these things? No, God teaches his people these things. This is what he's foretelling. And frankly, for friends of Jehovah God, how reassuring that they're finally going to be gone. All these despicable enemies that have just reproached Jehovah's name, destroyed, never, ever to live again. Now, it's not that we rejoice in someone's death, but when it comes to God's enemies, finally, they're out of the way, especially these despicable apostates who at one point had dedicated their life to God, and then they joined forces with Satan, the devil, the chief apostate of all time. So while we eagerly await Jehovah's bringing his enemies to the end, very sobering point from James chapter 4 that you'll remember. Let's find James and what he writes here. James chapter 4. And James, of course, Jehovah used him and inspired him, but always nice and direct. You don't read James and go away saying, I wonder what he meant by that. It's very clear. Verse 4, Adulteresses, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Whoever, therefore, wants to be a friend of the world is making himself an enemy of God. So, what a clear warning. We don't want to have any friendship, whether socially or on social networks, with Jehovah's enemies. We're not friends of the world. We're Jehovah's friends. We're looking at him as our closest and most precious friend. And we never would want Jehovah to view us as an enemy. So, in conclusion, let's go back to that opening psalm that we
And this could have been
looked at here,
create a lot of problems
just to
for him.
help this verse stay in your
The end of it.
mind, we hope. Verse 20, just to emphasize this, but the wicked will perish, the enemies of Jehovah will vanish like glorious pastures, particularly they will vanish like smoke. So I thought this would be a nice memory aid to this verse stay in the mind. Here's what Jehovah's promising. That's Jehovah's enemies. They're going to vanish like smoke.
Well, I wanted to play that video, and I'm thinking, I'm only thinking out loud here, that could be one of the videos that got Tony in trouble. Just stop and think. If you are a Jehovah's Witness or were a Jehovah's Witness at the time of that video, which was recorded, I believe, about 9 months ago, if you were a loyal card-carrying Jehovah's Witness and you saw governing body member Tony Morris light a match like that, blow it out, and say that is what's going to happen to those enemies of Jehovah, of course, meaning apostates, us perhaps all listening in here today. How would you feel if your son or your mother or your daughter was an apostate? How would you feel? Would that radiate any confidence for you? I tell you, that could be the video, but I'm just speculating. I'm not sure what got him in trouble or if he was even in trouble. Some are thinking, well, perhaps he just retired. But wouldn't you think if he just retired, the Watchtower would have said that? Don't you think they would have said it right on the outset of the video I gave you here today on the jw.org site? You can see it. Go to the newsroom at jw.org today and check it out. They don't say anything at all that he's no longer one of the governing body. So we can take it for what it's worth. It could be the liquor store. It could be Tony's health even. Maybe all of the governing body doesn't look that great lately, right? Could it be the problems in Pennsylvania? Wow, that's something. Maybe he's involved with that whole group of pedophiles down there. So we're going to only have to speculate at this time. We're only hyperventilating, as we would say, because we really don't know. But I'll tell you what, if you guys want to come in tonight, we're going to do a special program, a live streaming program tonight, because this is a big, big story. This is bigger than we all think. And I know a lot of people are rejoicing right now in the ex-witness world, and maybe even in the Jehovah's Witness world itself. So join us tonight at 8 o'clock for a live streaming special right here on this YouTube channel, and we'll have our phone lines open, and you'll be able to call in and give your thoughts on how you feel about this. What do you think is going on with Tony Morris? Why is he no longer a governing body member? Well, we're going to see you tonight. Hopefully you'll come in here. Hey, jot this telephone number down, because if you'd like to give your thoughts tonight at 8 o'clock on a live streaming 6-screen special report, you can call 727-731-6701. I'll put the telephone number up here, and then what you folks will be able to do tonight is to call into the program and to give your thoughts on why you think Tony Morris is no longer a governing body member. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming in for this special report. I want to keep telling you guys, keep waving that flag of victory. And I want you also to know that This story, by the way, is going to have a lot of legs. There's going to be a lot of YouTube videos. So I give kudos to all the people that will be reporting on this video. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And now you're right up to date on what's going on behind the curtains of the Watchtower.